Popbangcolour. Right, thank you, driver.
You're most welcome.
There we are. Right. Now we are here at FarGo Village for episode 5 of Driven In, Drawn Out. This time with current British touring car champion, Tom Ingram.
Hello, sir. You okay?
It was a lovely drive, thank you very much.
Well, you're most welcome. It was a good McDonald's, actually.
Yeah, it was lovely. God, it's all on the back of your seat, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I saw you'd left some ketchup back there, but
sorry about
it does happen.
Anyways, this is Mr. Tom Ingram, and known as Tingram.
Whatever you. I mean, I'm not fussed. You can call me whatever you want.
Wow.
I'm easily pleased.
We've got to keep it light.
Okay, yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. Right. So I am going to draw this Hyundai Ioniq. How do you say it?
Ioniq 5.
Ioniq 5.
Ioniq 5, fully electric as well. You see.
We'll have a little chat about that.
Absolutely right.
So I'm going to crack on.
Okay.
And we'll have a little catch up and talk about a dog.
He's a good boy, and he's a land seal over there, just chilling out.
Relaxed. Right. I'll go over there. See you soon.
Perfect. See you in a bit.
How you doing?
Very well, you?
Very well, thank you, mate. So welcome along.
Thank you.
Driven In, Drawn Out with me.
Driven in, drawn out. I like that.
I know.
How long did it take to come up with that?
Well, I thought about it. I threw it to Elena. Elena quite liked it because she edits it all. And then we've just gone with it.
Brilliant. Love it. No big fan.
I keep on spelling it wrong, so I did earlier. It was like driven in, driven out. Got that wrong.
I'm bad with stuff like that. I've found myself getting things the wrong way around. Park arc is a bad one for me instead of car park.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. I went to McDonald's the other week, and this is no word of a lie. I asked for a double pleaseburger cheese.
And what did you get?
A double cheeseburger.
Oh, you didn't get any please?
No, I didn't get any please. They just gave it to me.
They was like, there we are.
But, yeah.
But you are here in in the Hyundai Ioniq 5.
Yep.
So this is the first electric car I've drawn as part of this series.
Very good.
Aren't you honoured?
I am honoured. I am absolutely honoured. It's good.
I am going to start drawing this
Okay.
Hyundai Ioniq 5 from one of the team sponsors.
Absolutely right. So this is courtesy of Bristol Street Motors, and it's just a cool little bit of kit. I really like it, actually. It's a good little run around.
As electric cars go, I think it's one of the cool. Like when I see them on the road, I'm like, it looks cool.
Well, they look a bit different as well, don't they? I mean, I quite like what they're doing with the whole electric car thing in the sense that they do look very different.
So obviously, you are, as it stands, the current British touring car champion.
I am.
You won it at Brands.
That I did.
In October. Was it
Sometime about that. It feels both a year ago and a week ago. It's weird how time passes like that.
And what I really like is that the week of that you came to FarGo Village. You have your haircut.
I had my haircut there.
Yeah, not by me.
The other side
I don't
of
do
that.
your
No.
hair as well.
Have you cut your own hair ever?
No, I get the same man who cuts your hair to cut my hair.
Did you do it in lockdown? Did you do the whole self-haircut thing?
Yes, I have a big mop of hair when it's not cut. Mine just kind of grows out though. There is no shape to it. It's just like a mop of hair.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in no real position to talk about my current hairstyle, and if Rob's listening, he's probably in his barber shop at the minute looking at it going, what has happened to your hair? It's terrible. What I'm trying to do is hold on to it. So, of the Ingram family, I don't have any brothers or sisters, I am the only one with a head of hair now. Bless her, my mum has had to go through chemo as well, so now mum's not got any hair either. So I am the only one in the Ingram family that has a head of hair, and I'm holding on to it as long as possible.
And so you kind of, in the morning, you kind of swan in and be like,
I just
look at this.
Like a sort of Head and Shoulders advert, just sort of keep wafting it, you see, it's great.
Going back to motorsport family, and like a lot of the drivers, it is a family, and so your dad and I have been at the track and met them, and when I'm in the paddock drawing, it's great to have them around.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my parents haven't missed a race. They come to every single one that they can do. And like I say, mum's not been very well, isn't very well at all, but she will still be wanting to come along to every single race that she can do. But that's a lovely part of it, is that for me, wanting to get into the British Touring Car Championship since I was like 5 years old, it's been a nice thing to sort of live through it. And over the years we've had amazing success, and we've won championship and moved to the next level and the next level. But all the way through, you're still kind of aspiring to get to the pinnacle where we are now. But along the way, you obviously meet loads of people and you share that journey with them. Yourself, you've been a part of that as well. That I've seen you around the paddock for forever.
Yeah. I think I've been there 15. Well, I didn't do, so the paintings I've been doing since 2000. 2008. So my first proper show was Autosport 2009.
Yep.
Was
And 2009 was my first year in car racing as well. So, you know, it's been quite nice to sort of meet loads of people, yourself included, you know, along the way, and kind of share that with them. And my parents, of course, have been part of that as well.
It must be kind of like, because for this year's show, you opened the show.
I opened the show. That was amazing.
That must have been really quite a, you know.
I think it was fairly foolish of them allowing me to have a pair of scissors like that unattended. I mean, normally I have to sort of have the blunt scissors at home.
Did you have to write some kind of health and safety form? Saying,
amazingly, they didn't get me to sign anything. I was a madman walking around wielding scissors. So it was brave of them to leave me in charge of that.
Did you enjoy that?
It was a weird experience, I'll be honest, because I still don't feel like I deserve to do it. I still feel like normal me. Just because I've won a championship, I don't feel like I'm any more special than I ever was before. But to be able to open the show was a really cool experience, which I did find a little bit weird. But it kind of went full circle, really, because I went to the Autosport show in, like 1999 or something else like that, which is the first time I went. And I met Matt Neal when I was like 5 years old. And that's like where my British Touring Car Championship love came from. Dad bought me the VHS. I used to watch it every day before I used to go to school. So it was quite nice to sort of almost go full circle in the show that I attended when I was 5 that gave me the interest in the British Touring Car Championship. However many years later, to have gone full circle after I won it, to then be able to go and open it was a really special feeling, actually.
No, it's great, yeah, because I was there doing my thing, so it was. It's always, you know, and it's great that the shows are back properly this year, and
you say you're here, there, and ever. You're all over the place this year.
And soon the touring car season starts, so I presume you're going to be out testing soon?
Yeah, we'll start testing in probably 2 or 3 weeks' time now. It'll soon come around, and we'll get our pre-season testing campaign underway. It's always difficult for us to try and get much meaningful testing in over the winter because we're predominantly a summer championship in the sense that, you know, when we turn up to Snetterton, for example, it's 28, 30 degrees, something else like that, hopefully. So for us to go testing there when it's 2.8 or 3 degrees is not a huge amount of difference. There's not a huge amount of points, so it's quite difficult. But you know, it's a strange feeling for me as well, because to have won the championship last year, to come back and defend it is not something I've ever experienced before. Because when I've won championships in the past in karting, or if I've won it in car racing, I've always won the championship and then moved on to something else for the following year. So it's the first time that I've ever had to come back and defend something, which is quite different for me in that sense. So to get a bit of a feeling of carrying that sort of responsibility and that pressure that maybe comes with it, that we're going to be the target as such. But I think that's part of it. You know, that's part of success that comes the previous year is to have that the following year we're going to be the benchmark, and you know, I quite enjoy that pressure that's going to come with it, I think.
Because what I love about touring car is it always comes pretty much down to the last race of the season. Yeah, at least the last 3 races. Yep. But you popped, you kind of come for a haircut just before that. But on that Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday, you were absolutely adamant that you were like, I'm going to win. Yeah,
I think you've got to be like that. It's like anything, isn't it? If you can talk yourself both in and out of anything, and you know, I spent over the years, you learn and you get more confidence, but you know, confidence comes with experience, and the whole thing sort of starts to work with you. But one of the things you discover quite early on is the power of your brain as such, in the sense of making sure you're in a good headspace. And so much of that just comes down to preparation. Like if you're prepared and ready to go, half the battle's done. So I've done a bit of work over the years with a sports psychologist who's been fantastic with me, in the sense whereby you learn to put the preparation in, and if you put the preparation in, by the time you actually come to the event, you're already ready to go. You don't feel like a lot of that insecurity and a lot of the nervousness maybe of going into a big event comes with going, oh, well, I should have done that, and I should have done that, and I shouldn't have done that. Whereas if you go in, you know I've done everything, I've done my homework, I've done everything I need to do, and so much of that is about the confidence that goes with it. Not being cocky, but just being confident in knowing what you're going to do. So much of it is your prep that comes with it.
Well, talking of doing things first in one attempt, first go with no practice. There we are. Look, I've started. There's the initial
good
outline.
Lad, look at that.
And look, we've got there's Yuri in the foreground as well.
I see him. He's a good boy, isn't he?
So there we are. So there's you. So we've got that as the initial outline. There is the car. So
hold on a minute. I'm gonna come and have a look.
Yeah, you don't have to stay in there.
Come on, Instagram.
You can move around. I've got to stay in there.
Come on, Instagram.
So I'm going to crack on.
Let's go for a walk. We're going for a walk here.
He's been allowed out. There's Yuri.
How do I flip this around? Here's Yuri. How are you, sunshine? So this is a little setup, look. Is this weird? You sort of watching yourself.
Watch it.
It's like when you see a reflection of yourself in CCTV. It's like seeing yourself in the mirror. Got a right little setup here.
So just getting the.
Look at this, the man in action, you see. How you doing, Yuri? You want a biscuit? Sit.
I love the training that you've you've done with him as well. He's very, very obedient.
He's an obedient boy when he wants to be. Sometimes.
So remind me the history? Yeah, kind of Yuri as a dog. What's the history behind Yuri the dog?
So Yuri, come here. Sit down. Good boy. Let's do a look. Let's turn it around a bit. Yeah, he is. So Yuri used to be a guide dog. So he was. Oh, he just licked my eyeball then. So he was a working guide dog. So he was with a. You gonna go on your bed? Let's see if you can get on your bed. On your bed. Good boy. Excellent. Have one of them. So Yuri was a working guide dog, and he got the sack because he enjoyed being a dog more than he enjoyed being a guide dog. So he got the sack. So when he got the sack, he came to us, and he is now in charge of the house. He's the house manager now, you see. So he makes the decisions. He goes in charge of the heating controls. He is the boss around the house. But he's just a good boy. He's honestly, I couldn't ask for him to be any better. And he's a little star, and everyone keeps saying to me, when are you going to get Yuri his own Instagram account?
I mean,
Well, you see, the problem is,
do you think it'd be more popular than you?
I think that's half the problem.
Oh.
I think a lot of people who follow me just follow me for Yuri. And as soon as he has his own Instagram account, I'm going to lose 95%.
He'll be like, yeah, we're done now. Moving on.
Exactly that. Have you got dogs?
I don't do dogs.
Do you not do? How do you not do dogs, man? Are you a cat? Yeah. Cat. I don't trust cats.
Oh yeah, I don't trust our cat at all.
Good story actually on that. Can you see this war wound? Look at this hideous scar. Can you see it? So we were walking Yuri in the woods the other day, and we came around the corner, and there was a woman who was staring up at a tree. Kind of weird thing to do. And she said, "Do you have a set of step ladders?" I went, well,
What, just whilst you're on a walk?
no, because I'm walking my dog. She said, my cat's stuck up the tree. To which I responded with, well, that's a foolish thing to do. Apparently when someone's in quite a bit of distress that their cat's stuck up in a tree, don't say that. So she said she took her cat for a walk, weird thing to do in itself, came round the corner, and 2 dogs came round the corner, and the cat ran up the tree. She said, it's stuck up there, it can't come down. Like, right, okie dokie. You know there's like 3 numbers on your phone to call, and they'll come and sort this for you. Just phone 999 and 9 and say there's a cat stuck up in the tree. And they're trained, they're kind of trained for that sort of stuff. So I said, okay, I'll see if I can find you a set of ladders. So I walked up, and there was a sort of 5 or 6 houses just out the back of the woods. So I went around knocking on some doors. I must have looked like an absolute nutter, knocking on the door saying, have you got a large set of step ladders? Because a cat is stuck up in a tree.
I mean, and this is in Cov, right?
This is in Coventry, just around the corner. So it's over in Meriden, actually.
So you're randomly knocking people's doors going, have you got a ladder?
Yeah. One person eventually said, yes, I've got a set of ladders, you can borrow them. I said, oh, fantastic, okay, that works. So I carried these ladders back, found the woman who hadn't got a cat out of the tree yet, popped the ladders up against the thing, I went, right, there you go. And she went, oh, brilliant, thanks. Oh, you want me to go up? Oh, okay.
Right, she was like, then, oh, you're going...
Yeah, she just assumed. And then there was like this awkward pause. Like, oh, I'm going up, but I'm terrified of heights. Okay, this is not good. Now this cat, I'm not exaggerating, must have been 15 foot up this tree. Anything over 6 foot, I don't do.
Right.
I hate heights with an absolute passion. The steps were wobbling in line with my legs. And I'm 15 odd foot up this tree trying to prize this cat.
And cats famously, once they're you can't.
He'd welded himself to this tree. He'd sort of stuck every single one of his massive claws into the tree. And I had to sort of prise him off whilst shaking on this ladder because I'm so scared. Hero of the hour, I must add. And it repaid me by scratching me. I mean, this is about, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago now. And she went, oh, brilliant, thanks so much.
And that was it. Like,
not like £1,000 or, here's a cup of tea. here's a cake. Thank you.
And they just walked off with a cat. We had two cats. We had a cat called Mog, which is just cat.
Oh, okay.
And then we had Havana, his sister. And one day, Mog just left. Just went. It was just like, no leaving card, no, oh, by the way, I've found somebody else.
Just left.
Just gone.
They're strange things, aren't they?
They're funny, yeah. But I think
Were yours indoor cats, or were they outdoor cats as well?
They were both outdoor cats. Yeah, well, no, they were outdoor. Yeah.
That kind of freaks me out a little bit because they've got a whole separate life. They've
Yeah,
got their own life. You
Yeah.
know, they go around and go for a poo in other people's gardens and eat
Well,
other people's lunch and all sorts of stuff.
I mean,
don't really.
in my
Other
head,
people feed them. They're like a sort of a communal pet.
Yeah, in my head, what's happened? He's because obviously I'm out and about most days. He went and found somebody who just loved him as a cat during the day, and he just went, you know what? I don't need to go home. I can just
Do it all here.
I think I could do it here.
Everything I need, yeah.
And I think that's what he did.
So earlier on, before we started filming this, Ian, why do you always wear shorts? Oh, I know why. And he's wearing shorts. Bear in mind it's freezing. I've got the heating on 24 here. Still a little bit chilly. Ian has the biggest calf muscles of any human being I've ever seen ever. They are incredible. They are marvellous.
They need their own postcode, to be honest.
They're a sort of a modern feat of engineering. They are just incredible things. They really are. So if any of you go to events this year and Ian is there, just say, can I have a gander at your calves? Because they are just incredible. What do you do to train those things?
Well, I mean, I would like to say that it's taken years of practice and, you know, like a trained athlete.
Maybe it's because you're squatting in a really awkward position there.
Yeah, it could be because they are tensed. I feel they are.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're in a sort of a permanent deep squat. You must have bum cheeks of steel as well.
I can't confirm or deny.
Is it Jack Grealish? Is that him? Is that the footballist that has massive calf muscles?
Well,
they make his look like peas stuck to his leg.
He's from Solihull, where I'm originally from.
Maybe it's a Solihull thing. Maybe it's what's in the water.
So obviously a few cars have been revealed in terms of new liveries and people in new teams and whatnot. So what are you looking forward to? What's your, in terms of the next few weeks?
I like this part of the year. I like seeing all the liveries come together. I like the sort of the season launch and everything that goes with it. I'm as much of a fan of it as I am a driver in any way. So I quite enjoy the whole season launch thing. I quite enjoy it. It's quite a fun time of the year, seeing the new liveries. I always like turning up to the sort of season launch on the media day and seeing everyone in their new kit and their new race suits, and I just really enjoy it.
So people go to school for the first day.
Honestly, I really enjoy it. So it's quite nice to see that. But our livery looks pretty cool this year. We've already filmed it. We've seen it. It looks pretty cool.
The press day's down at Brands, isn't it? Right.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. So press days the season launches at Brands. Yeah. March for me is a bit of a write-off because I think we've got about 2 days off in March from stuff that's going on. So I had to lay my turf. I had to get my turf down, you see.
That's very important.
For those who have watched On The Limit, they'll have seen me doing up our house, and it's gone on for forever. We still have no door in the toilet, so it's still a public viewing. But I thought before we can move in, we need some lawn because Yuri needs to have somewhere to go and do peas and poos. So I got my turf down last week, so that's all done because I was scared that I've got next to no days in March. And that we're going to get into April, and I'm out of turf, so it's going to take me too long to get my turf down. You see,
the most important day in April is the 28th of April.
What's going on there?
It's my 40th birthday.
40?
40.
You're never 40.
I
didn't think you were that old.
Yeah, 83. 83.
That is quite old.
Thanks.
I'm 30 this year.
I mean, this is what happens in 10 years. Yeah, 10
no,
years.
Don't say that.
I mean, maybe in 10 years you can then get big calf
I was just going to
muscles.
say, maybe in 10 years' time, my calf muscles will be the size of my head as well. No, I'm a bit scared about turning 30. I think it feels like a fairly grown-up age, just 30. I have discovered I think I am getting older. I'm finding certain traits that I'm turning slightly older. Maybe I'm turning into my dad. I've started sort of getting animated and irate at the radio and the TV. I've started to shout at the TV a little bit.
Have you started to go with like Radio 1? Oh, that's a bit loud.
No, I'm okay. I'm still sticking with Radio 1. I'm going to stick it out for as long as I can. But it's more the when you sit down and stand up, it's that kind of thing. And shouting at the TV and getting animated at the radio. I'm chuntering at things. If something annoys me, I'm just sort of read it and chat around to myself, which I think is definitely the sign of getting older, which terrifies me, if I'm honest, because I still don't feel like I deserve to be 30. I still feel like I'm 15. I was having this thought the other day. Quite busy at the minute, as you can tell. You know when pole vaulters? You know a pole vaulter?
Yeah, I just don't know where this is going.
How do they transport their poles? How do you get a pole vaulter's pole through an airport? This isn't a joke, by the way. This is a deadly serious question. I've tried to Google this.
It's very long.
Because they're like massive things. How do they fit in a plane?
Do you think
they've
like...
got to be one solid thing? Surely it's not like a snooker cue where you can pull it when you can unscrew it in half.
Yeah, because
how on earth do you get through an airport? And also, what an inconvenience. Can you imagine trying to get through the baggage aisle? Got anything to declare? Just this 18-foot pole that cannot be broken or smashed. What do you do with it? If you know, please answer, because I have no idea.
any pole vaulters?
If there's any pole vaulterists on here, please do let us know. But
I mean, was this at the point that the cat was in the tree as well? Like
no, they were separate things. That was a separate time. How you getting on?
Yeah,
what are we up to?
Right. I mean, you can jump out again if you want. You can have another little.
Let's have a gander. Let's go for a walk.
People saying hi. People joining the convo.
We've got loads of people. We've still got loads of people. No one's been able to answer the question on Luke Hooper reckons on the roof. You can't have a pole vault
on the roof.
Imagine going over a speed bump. You'd take off with the twang that would come with it. Oh, there he is. Yuri's still there, being a good boy. Hold on. I just realised something. We're missing out here. Look at those calves. Let's have a look at them.
Oh, there we are. Look.
Oh, look at those.
Oh, there we are. A bit cramped.
Wow, you've definitely got cramp. What's happened to your jeans? What's happened here?
Oh, it was a savage dog.
As long as it wasn't a cat. I wouldn't put it past a cat to do that, though, to be perfectly honest with you.
So you can have a look at your car as well. Like, how about some of the features on your on the Ioniq 5?
One of the cool things is this. Can you see this? The lights. Is it? I don't know if I'm. What are you meant to show the registration? What's the whole thing when people blur them out? I don't know what that's all about. See how cool is that? And on this one, we've actually got little cameras. Little cameras, you see. So when you're inside, hey, look, there's Yui. So we have cameras instead of mirrors. I don't really know what the idea of it is, but we have cameras instead of mirrors, you see. It's quite a funky little thing.
So so kind of with the electrification and stuff, so we had a little chat earlier. How's it been, and what are the...
You do have to think about it a little bit more. There's no denying that. So there is a little bit more to think about and to plan, because it's not like owning a normal petrol car where you can just fill it up with petrol and it takes 5-10 minutes. There's obviously a little bit more that you have to think about and try to get a plan in place. You know, make sure that you've got enough electricity to get around where you need to. And I think half the battle is trying to find a good charger at the right point, so it doesn't sort of upset your journey too much. Obviously, the infrastructure's starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger, so it's not becoming too much of a problem. But we went up to Knock Hill with it. Not a problem at all. We found one of the super duper fast chargers that charged it from 10% to like 90% in about 10 minutes. So when they're around, it's really, really easy. So it's just a case of just changing the way you think about it, really. You just have to plan your journeys a little bit more to make sure that you've got a stop en route that you can plug it in.
Yeah, I do quite like the new Hyundai look.
Is it Hyundai? It's Hyundai.
Hyundai.
Something like that. I should listen to the advert, really. What's going on? Matt Player, what have you said? If you start racing again, what advice would you give to someone who has a tight budget? Start with track days and dabble in a few races. I think enjoy it. I think that's the biggest thing that would be the best thing to do. Just enjoy what you're doing. Sometimes the competitive nature of it almost sometimes does start to take away from the enjoyment of it as well, because you start to get so fixated and fascinated by trying to find a 10th, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 5, whatever it may be, that sometimes you start to get a little bit carried away in chasing those little bits rather than the bigger picture of just enjoying what you're doing. And I think that's quite a big thing. So I would never say don't race. I would always say try to take part in what you can. But the track days are just a great way of enjoying being on track sometimes without the pressure of having the competition as well. I haven't seen if anyone's been able to tell us how they transport a pole vaulter's pole, by the way.
And yeah, I'm disappointed by that.
I was hoping we'd have a pole vaulterist.
I was hoping for that.
Luke reckons it's in the roof of the car in a big cylinder.
But what about when you're in a plane? They've got,
That would be my thing. I can kind of see it in a car, but how do you get it through an airport? That would be my big thing.
unless you know what they do, they literally run with it and power over all the security. They just literally power over it.
Imagine booking that onto a Ryanair flight. When you can only just about take your phone on a Ryanair flight, can't you?
It'll be like your ticket price is this.
Plus your pole
handling
vaulter's
is
pole
price.
is also £9,000.
So how do you find this kind of this mini series, this doc series they've been doing the touring car? Do you enjoy being part of that?
There's been loads of good feedback on it actually. They've come across really well. So it was funny because initially when they first started filming it, I was almost trying not to say too much because they follow you around so in-depthly. You don't want to trip up by saying something that might give information away to the other teams or the other drivers. And Spencer was exactly the same. So Spencer, my engineer, he would always have a little radio pack on so that the crew can listen to what he's saying. And whenever he'd say something, he'd always cover up his he'd try to cover up his radio mic so they couldn't hear.
Did you have like a secret? Did you have
like a
like
code
a secret
phrases?
code?
Yeah, it was like a secret code that we worked in, which kind of defeats the object of
Like
it.
ham sandwiches.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got some questions coming in. We're all right. What is your favourite track to race on in the UK? So the favourite track. What's your favourite track to go to?
Coventry Ring Road.
Coventry Ring Road. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difficult place. That is.
But yeah, I mean it is a very the kind of the short
I don't
ons
really
and-
understand it, but I don't think anyone really understands the Coventry
Nobody
Ring Road.
understands it, no.
No. There's
But
lots of.
you-
What are these shared spaces? They're doing these shared spaces things now.
Oh, what, down by Central 6?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Like, paint it red.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I think that's exactly how it works. Anyway, favourite circuit. I like Knock Hill, and I also like Brands GP, but I'm quite fickle when it actually comes to it because what tends to happen is if you've had a really good race weekend, you love the place. If you have a terrible race weekend with terrible results, you hate it. It's rubbish. It's the worst track you go to. So it ends up being circuit specific. So like Alton Park last year was a great one. Brands GP was a good one. So you tend to be the circuits that you do well at. Matt's asked, how's the house renovation coming on? Slowly. I'm currently on hallway and kitchen flooring at the minute. So when we finish here, I'm back off to carry on doing my flooring. But we're nearly done. 95% done upstairs. I've just got to hang some doors, which apparently hanging doors is quite difficult. Have you ever hung a door?
Yes.
Is it difficult?
Yeah, I got sort of manning to do that. I can't do anything like that.
Yeah. You can draw a door, but you can't put one on.
I can draw a door. I can paint a door badly.
Yeah.
Because I can't paint with a brush for fun.
I was just going to say that. What are you like at house renovations? Are you any good at painting walls, or are you rubbish?
Rubbish. Don't get paint everywhere apart from where it should be.
Yeah. I can tell that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, so when I was at uni, I was a barman, a terrible barman, and they were like, oh, Ian, we've got the chalkboards to paint, so can you just, you're an artist, you can just paint these chalkboards, black paint everywhere. They were not happy.
Why were you painting a chalkboard black?
Because I was getting rid of all the previous...
Oh, you paint over it, do you?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, you do? I just thought you just... Oh, very cool. There you go. So, we've said this. I'd quite like to be a barman.
I was a really bad one.
Oh, that feels like a gig I've missed out on.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the social element. The social element of it is fun. The actual
That would be
hours.
my problem. We were having this conversation off camera. I'd just chat with everyone. I don't think I'd ever serve anyone a drink.
That's what I did.
I just ended up having a conversation
Yeah.
with everyone, just chatting utter nonsense about how you transport a pole vaulter's pole. Are you going to be racing in the C1? Maybe. Yes, I really enjoyed that actually. Looking forward to seeing you at Thruxton. Very good. We'll see you there.
Look, Thruxton, look.
Rockingham.
Look, Thruxton. Ah.
Have you just got that straight to hand? That's
I
quite
had that
impressive,
to hand.
quite
And there
impressive.
you are on the front cover. You see, there was the Thruxton programme cover.
That was cool actually. Are you going to do it again this year?
I'd like to do it again, but it stands for touring car and
Well, I think you should.
Tocker, and if
should.
it happens.
Ian has asked, do you miss Rockingham? I miss Rockingham because I used to really like Rockingham.
I love Rockingham. The problem with Rockingham, it was great. It was a great circuit to watch the racing at because you saw the whole circuit.
Yep.
It was interesting because you had that wall and it always felt a little bit like, ooh.
Yeah. So Rockingham, that was my first podium.
Was it?
It was my first 2015, I think it was. And it was the race that Jason, Plato and I were like battling. He'd go past, I'd go past, he'd go past, I'd go past. And we spent I think at least half the race, just the two of us getting past each other, and it was like an old school scrap. It was really, really good. Here's a good one for us. what's this? Yes, Laura Chabak has asked, what career would you like to do if you weren't a racing driver?
Oh, what would you be? I'm trying to work out what you'd be.
What do I look like I'd be?
What would you be? I think it'd be something which kind of chatty. You'd
I want to have a chat. I like the idea of being a radio presenter.
What would you do? Drive time? Would you be early morning or?
I'd want to be
or
a drive time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tune into the drive time hour, the traffic news, traffic and travel, and it'd be 6 o'clock, and there seems to be some congestion on the Coventry ring road.
Again. 17
people have crashed on the ring road, trying to get to the shed space.
I think you've got that's your interview for Coventry and Warwickshire right there.
Yeah, Coventry and Warwickshire. I could be the sort of drive time guy to that. Yeah, let's go with that. Ooh, here's one. Number 1 or number 80 this season?
Ooh,
great question. You have to wait and find out, I guess.
Now,
I've had to think long and hard about what number I run this year, because number 80 has been the number that I've always ran. It's always been my race number. It's always a sort of a number that I've stuck with. So every car and kart and anything I've ever raced has always been the number 80, and I've always ran it. It's always been my number. So to have to decide what number I'm going to run this year.
How about 180?
I thought about that, but then it's neither number. You know what I mean?
True.
It's either got to be number 1 or it's got to be number 80.
If it was like a heads or tails, you had to make a decision. You imagine you had a piece.
I don't know.
Well,
I can't decide. I don't know.
You still
But
deciding?
I think we're going to go number 1. I think I'm going to run number 1.
Well,
because it was such a, the gesture that Ash made at the last round when he came and stuck the number 1 on the car. There were so many cool moments that go with that, and also you're the champion, so you got to run number 1. Surely that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, your merch and stuff, like you do that really well. You're
the
so
merch
involved
is really
in
cool.
making that.
Yeah, I love the merchandise stuff actually, because it's so nice seeing loads of people, and it's nice to see how it's grown over the years as well, where we start to see more and more people all walking around with Ingram t-shirts and t-shirts with Yuri on it and all sorts of stuff. It's really, really nice to see. Oh, this is quite a good one. If you had a choice, which would you race, Super Tourers or modern BTCC cars? That's quite a good question, actually.
I love the Super Tourers.
I think everyone loved the Super Tourers, didn't they? It was such an iconic thing.
I think maybe we remember the kind of the Alpha 155 barrel rolling.
Yeah.
And then you had the Cleland Clash.
See, my touring car love came in the Super Touring era. That was the era that got me excited by it. It was like 99, 98, that sort of year, when it was like Aiellos in the Laura Aiello in the Nissan with Leslie, and Thompson in the Hondas, and Jason in the Renaults and that sort of stuff. And that was what got me excited. That's what got me for the love of doing it. So I love the modern day stuff. It's because it's what I'm used to. It's what I know. But I'd love to. There's a few people that have still taken the Super Tourers around at race meetings and doing stuff like that. So if there's anyone doing it, I'd love to have a chance of driving.
You want to speak to Mr. Minshaw, who has got both the Volvo 850 and the S40.
Oh, there we go.
He's also got the E30.
Nice.
And I think at the moment they've got some of the Primeras.
Oh, nice.
As well. The technology that was in them, because it's obviously so old now. To keep those cars running, it's actually probably more complicated.
Well, that's what they're saying. A lot of the Williams Formula One stuff, when they're doing the heritage stuff, they have to run them on the computers of the day. So they're still going around with laptops from 1992 and that sort of stuff, just to be able to run these old cars. And the ones with all the active suspension, that's all still programmed through the laptop that did it at the time. So they still have to come around with these massively chunky laptops that look as much of a dinosaur as some of the cars do sometimes.
Imagine getting like an unexpected update going, no, don't update them.
Well, they wouldn't have an internet, would they? So they probably wouldn't be able to pull an update through, which is one blessing at least.
Right. So touring car wise, you've started in events.
So started with the Toyota Avensis,
and then you went on to Corolla.
It's from 2014 to 2015. We then did a new Avensis, so a second Avensis. Then we went Corolla, and then from Corolla I've come into the Hyundai.
Before that was Ginetta.
Ginetta's all the way through, yeah. So Ginetta G55, G50s, Juniors. I've run a few bits and pieces.
But which is the one that you kind of instantly clicked this straight, like...
I drove I think because it was so different to what I'd done before, I drove an LMP3 car a few years ago. And I think that, because it was so different to anything I've ever been used to before, with like loads of downforce, a fair chunk of power, It was nothing I'd ever driven before, so that was quite a cool thing to drive that I didn't really expect. But sometimes it's the historic stuff I really like. So I'm doing members meeting and revival and a few bits and pieces this year.
We're doing revival. What racing?
So Marco, who I drive with, has got his Stingray, Corvette Stingray, which is a handful.
So that's going to be up against the...
We're up against like E-types and things like
yeah.
that, which we struggle with because the E-types are the same power, if not a little bit more, and half the weight. So they are a little bit better than us, really. But I think we've got the members meeting that we're in the Cortina. We did the members meeting a couple of years ago with his Ford Falcon and all sorts of stuff. I love the historic stuff. I think that's so much fun because nothing happens quick. Everything's slow. Everything happens at a sort of relaxed pace.
And revival is just wicked. I love it as an event. It's so cool just to be there and just.
It's a really special thing to turn up to. It really, really is. Brett has asked, why was the dream BTCC, and did I ever consider going through to Formula One? See, I've been about 6'2" since I was about 14. So I think Formula One was always fairly off the cards because I was always a bit too tall. And also, I never had any real interest in it. I always preferred touring cars. I always had a bigger following for the BTCC than I ever did really Formula One. It interested me more. I'll watch it. Of course, I'm a fan of it, and you know, I think I follow it. But if the opportunity came, I'd jump at it, of course. But that's not going to happen. So I'd rather stick with the BTCC. It's something I always loved and continue to.
Right. Well, I think I'm pretty much there.
Are you going to say it?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much there.
Are you Romeo done?
I'm right. Yeah. I would say I'm happy. I think.
Are you happy? Yeah.
There we are on the camera.
Oh, look at that!
There we are. Look. There he is. There's you. There he is.
Very good.
Look at that. Look at the dog and you
That's
and
fantastic.
the car. And your name.
Good
Definitely.
man. I like that, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic. Look at that.
And
You're a
one
clever man,
for the
aren't you?
house. You can decorate the house now as well.
Absolutely right. So long as you don't paint my house, though.
No, I won't.
There'll be lines all over the place.
Paint everywhere.
Fantastic. I love that, mate. Thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure. Cheers, man. To see more continuous car drawings being created, you can follow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Go on, smash all the like buttons and other things.